Hey everybody, it's a beautiful day outside as we can see. It's also a beautiful day on the calendar. This is being filmed on our election day, which is the day that we get to express ourselves and make our voices heard in our beautiful American democracy. As you can see, I voted early right here, and I'm rocking my American flag hat. And the bedazzled nature is an analogy in my eyes of the time, the pressure, and the right elements it takes to create something beautiful. And I think America is a beautiful country, and I think exercise is something similar, where it takes time, it takes effort to help build things the way we want it to be. So we might not all have the same view of what it is that we're looking for, but we can all agree on some certain values as Americans. And similar to exercise, we know what is good. So we're going to work that today. Let's go ahead and start off marching. We're going to get that opposite elbow to the knee, warming up. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. So I hope everyone has voted already, either absentee, early voting, or maybe we made it down to the polls on election day. I like the joke of if you didn't vote, then you can't complain until the next election. I'm sure some of you hold that viewpoint as well. Keep it up, getting those knees nice and high, cross body, warming up our body, and getting that brain ready for movement. Keep it up. We have 21 seconds left. I got this hat a number of years ago. I think I mentioned maybe blowing rock. That might have been in a different take. 8 seconds. It caught my eye, and I thought it was beautiful. 4 seconds left. And time. Great job. Next up, let's get our reverse lunges in. So we have our hands on the chair. We're going to step back with that right foot, keeping the right hand on the chair. We're opening up to the left. Returning to standing, stepping back with that left leg, left hand stays on, opening up to the right. Continuing, I'm going to show it from the side, right leg back, right hand on the chair, opening up to the left. Returning to standing, keeping it up. Now let's say that we're enjoying this exercise, this movement. If this is a little easy, that hand up top, let's get it down low. On that seat, do a deeper stretch. Great way to scale the exercise, because eventually, if we're able to, we want to get that hand to the floor. What a better time to start than now. Keep it up. One more time each side. Right leg back, right hand on the chair, left leg back, left hand on the chair, and back to standing. Good job. Now, let's get our side steps and our zigzags in. We're going to get our hips back, and we want to come to the side. So we have our hips back, walking to the side, back and forth. Keep it up. Now, if we have our band, we're always welcome to it. We'll go side to side. We got 28 seconds left. Hopefully we've been able to get outside with this time change. That's another thing that you gotta love about America. Some people want to get rid of it. Some people want to keep daylight savings. Sometimes you want to move an hour earlier permanently and relaxing. Now let's do our zigzags in and out. One thing that is super important, so we're in and out 45 degrees, is let's try to get some morning light. We might be noticing we're feeling a little tired. We're still on that old timeline of, for instance, last night, I was starting to get tired around 8:30, and I remembered it's actually 9:30, so I gave into it. I went to bed at 9 o'clock last night. I can't tell you the last time I went to bed that early. Probably wasn't too long ago. 20 more seconds. But it's important we get that bright morning light, and inside we want to recreate what's going on outside. So bright lights inside during the day, and as time goes on, we are dimming those lights, maybe turning off some of them and relaxing, and then cooler temperatures too, to help let that body and brain know, hey, it's time to wind down, it's time to go to sleep. Let's check in with our balance. We're going to get one foot grounded. Maybe it's going to be at our ankle, at our calf, or above. Let's feel it out. We're welcome to have our hands in our heart center, arms lifted if we want. Feeling it out. Seeing how each side feels. Got 40 more seconds. This is a great time to check in with that warm-up. We probably have our heart beating a little bit faster. Our breath pace is a little faster as well. And it allows us to check in. A sign of being in shape isn't how we get out of breath or that heart rate, because that happens to all of us. It's how fast can we return to a normal pace of our breath, a normal pace of our heartbeat. And good, let's switch sides. And switching, here we go. You see that in pro sports, for instance, basketball players. They'll play a full game is 48 minutes, and you'll see star players, they play the most minutes, but they don't need a lot of time on the bench if they're in good shape to help recover and get back into action. So that's a true test of where we are in terms of our fitness level. We all get out of breath, we all feel that initial fatigue, but it's when we stop, how fast can we recover that? That's the focus there. We have 15 more seconds. Seven seconds left. And relaxing. Great job. So, now we can get some water. We want to make sure that we have some weight today. We want to make sure we have two of the same weights. That'll be towards the end. For the most part, we're going to use one. But we're going to start off with some upper body, lower body combo, but mainly our lower body. So first off, we're going to do a goblet squat while we press the weight out. So we do have the option of doing this seated, where we're going to have our feet about shoulder width apart, and we're going to have our arms out when we're seated or in a squat. As we stand up, our arms come into the body. As we bring our hips back, our arms are counterbalancing. So from the side, it looks like this. Now, we can just get a little tap action, not actually seated on the chair. We don't even need the chair as well. Let's get into that position. We're going to do a minute of this. 3, 2, 1. So we're up tall. It's next to us. We bring our hips back. We extend our arms out. Standing up. Pressing out. Great job. Again, we're welcome to actually sit down or just a little tap action. If we're thinking about the breath, we can either inhale on our way down and exhale on the way up, or we can exhale as we press out, inhale on the way up. Doesn't truly matter because we're combining eccentric and concentric exercises at different parts of our exercise. I just saw a chipmunk run super fast. It was really cool. 4 seconds. and time. Well done here. So we can set that weight to the side, and we're going to get into some revolved half moons here. Now, it's been a while since we've done some revolved half moons, but they are a really good weight-bearing exercise through one hip. So we're going to start with the right leg grounded to the floor, and we're going to lift the left leg up as we're coming forward. So we can have 3 points of contact still. Now, we're going to rotate. So with the right hand or the right leg down, let's have our left hand on the chair. You can have both on the chair, but definitely the left hand on the seat, the right hand on the top. We're going to rotate our torso in. So a revolved half moon yoga pose, we have our normal balancing half moon, which we are not doing today, but our revolved half moon has us hips pointing straight down and then opening up to the side. So a lot more strength and stability into that right hip. We're going to alternate. So we're going to go hips square down to the chair, opening up a little bit to the right, and going on from there. Here we go. We'll have a little less time because this is pretty tough. Getting into position, and we're hinging forward, hips and chest pointing down, and then we're starting to rotate to the right. Back down to the bottom, rotating to the right, squaring down to the bottom. So using those 3 points of contact to stay grounded and stable, and really feel that weight bearing through the right leg, really strengthening that hip capsule here. Doing great. We have 8 seconds left. Notice my knee is slightly bent and it's not locked out. And time. We did it. Let's switch to the other side now. So the left leg's going to be grounded. We're going to hinge forward. This time the right hand will be on the bottom seat, left hand up top. And again, we're going to rotate, this time to the left. Squaring our hips, shoulders back down. Rotating to the left. Good job. And that knee slightly bent. We're thinking about the breath here. We're exhaling as we rotate to the side. Inhaling on our way down. Now maybe just staying in this position is enough. We don't have to worry about that rotation. We can hold here. This is challenging. Challenges our balance, challenges our stability, and time. Good job. So now we're going to go into a split squat. And I'm a big fan of split squats because it allows us to work each leg individually. Where, let's say, if one side is a little weaker, the other side's going to overpower in a normal squat. So when we have one leg forward, the other leg back, we are going to work independently. So we have the option of using no weight. If so, hold on to that chair. I like to have my hand on the opposite leg of what is forward. So if the left leg's forward, you're not using weight, let's use the hand here. Now we can use weight as well, but if we don't want any support, then let's have weight where we would have support. We can have the weight down by our side. So we start off, our feet are about shoulder width apart, and we're going to step back, and we want a decently wide base. We make it a lot harder when we have a more narrow base. So decent base of support. We're going to inhale on the way down, exhale up. Getting ready. 3, 2, 1. So we're inhaling, coming down, exhaling up. We get to choose how low we go with that knee in the back. That is a big eccentric movement. It's that lowering, that extending of the muscle contraction, and it can be a little much. So only going down as low as we feel comfortable. Okay, we're inhaling, coming down, exhaling up. So it could be this, and then back up, wherever we are today, and it can change from day to day. It can be different on each side as well. Doing a few more. We have 12 seconds. Inhaling down, exhaling up, inhaling back down, exhaling up. Let's do one more. And exhaling up. Good job. We're going to switch sides now. So, same thing. If you want support, have it on the side opposite of the leg that's forward. So if we had our left leg forward, we were holding on the right. We now have our right leg forward, we're holding on the left. Getting into that position, we're shoulder width apart, and then sliding one leg back. Here we go. Inhaling, coming down, exhaling up. Again, inhaling on our descent, exhaling back up. As this feels comfortable, over time we can work on slowly dropping down and coming up at a normal speed. That'll help us even more develop that strength, that stability. Great job. Keep it up. We have 17 seconds left. Five more seconds. And time. Good job, everyone. So let's get a sip of water. We're going to repeat all of that. We're going to hit that lower body, that chest, press in our squat all at the same time. All right. So we're going to get into that goblet squat option to turn it into a sit to stand, where we press out when our hips are down. Let's get into position. We'll have a minute of that. Getting ready. 3, 2, 1. So nice and tall. The weight's next to me. I'm bringing my hips back, pressing it out, standing up. Remember, we want to breathe. Doesn't matter exactly how. We have 2 different types of muscle contractions in each phase of this exercise. Just make sure we're breathing in and out. Keep it up. We're all doing great. 8 seconds. And time. We made it. Good job. So we'll get into that revolved half moon again. We're going to have our right leg grounded, and we will be opening up to the right side. We're going to inhale, bringing our torso forward. Let's have that left hand on the seat, that right hand up top. Again, we're going to rotate to the right. Inhaling, coming back down. Exhaling to the right. Now, if this is a little much, I didn't say this in the first set, we can have this toe grounded. So we have all 4 points of contact. We're not bearing weight through it too much, but it's there if we need it to be. Squaring that torso towards the side. Inhaling back to the center. Exhaling, squaring as we rotate. Great. 18 seconds. And relaxing. Well done. We're going to switch sides now. We're going to have that left leg grounded. We did a little longer on that second set. I think you were all ready for it. So left leg grounded. We're going to hinge forward. This time, right hand's on the seat, left hand here. And here we go. Slight rotation to the left. Get just a little more in that hip capsule. Working that hip stability. Also our knee and our ankle. Keep up the good work. Almost through. And time. Great job. Let's go into our split squats next, where we can use the weight or not use the weight. So we have the option of weight down by our side. Let's add another option where we're racked. This is going to stress, in a good way, stress a little bit of upper body stability and core strength. So we have our left leg forward. We can use the weight or we can hold on to it. But keeping our torso more or less tall, it can be slightly forward. I'll turn to that side to show you. So we have our leg back, and again, we can be up tall or slightly forward. It's better on the back to be slightly forward, just so we don't get into too much extension. So we're nice and tall, or with a slight lean. We're inhaling, coming down, exhaling up. Here we go. Staying with it. It's like we froze for a second there. So we are having our torso here. Inhaling, coming down. Exhaling up. Let's get it. Again, we can have our weight down by our side if we want to. We can hold on to a chair, listening to our body. Doing great. Inhaling on our way down, exhaling on our way up. Almost through. Feeling that burn. And time. Good job. So now we're going to switch sides. We'll have right leg in the front, left leg back. Getting into that position. Using the weight down low, racked, or hand on the chair. 3, 2, 1. Inhaling into our descent. Exhaling up. Doing great. Keep it up. You have 25 seconds left. Sticking with it, almost done. Last rep. And time. Great job. So taking a breather, getting some water. We're going to go into our upper body next, which we talked about voting at the beginning. That usually entails they were hunched over at a desk and we are, or at a polling station. So if we voted earlier or we voted on Tuesday, we're going to open up a little bit more. So we're going to start off with some bear hugs and scap retraction to get that blood into that chest and upper back. And then we're going to work on those postural muscles. So we got a little bit more of our legs. I think your legs will thank me. So, it doesn't matter which leg we have forward first, but we're going to do 30 seconds with our legs, one in the front, one in the back, and then we'll switch it. So, it's in a split stance where we're going to squeeze our shoulder blades back as we bring our arms back, and then we're coming forward, squeezing our chest into a bear hug, and then back out. So we'll do 30 seconds with one leg forward, we'll switch another 30 seconds. Getting ready, 3, 2, 1. So, coming forward, squeezing, squeezing back, back and forth with this. Ten more seconds. It's a little cooler outside. Slightly runny nose. That's par for the course. And time. We're going to switch the legs, continuing in 3, 2, 1. Squeezing those shoulder blades back, exhaling forward. So in this split stance, we don't need to worry about bending that back knee, just whatever comfortable. Get into that bear hug, squeezing back, back and forth. And time. Awesome. So we generated some blood into that region. Now we're going to work on our hinged row, where we have weights in both hands. And we can do this seated, or we can do it standing. We're going to bring our hips back and lower down. So we're going to bring our head back. We don't want to drop it down, but trying to get the head back in line with the rest of our spine. That low back, mid back, and upper back. And now we're going to row our arms back at the same time. Getting ready. 3, 2, 1. So we're squeezing those shoulder blades back, following through with our arms. Keep up the good work. Nice and controlled. Almost through. And time. Good job. So now we're going to work a little bit more of those postural muscles, where we can be in a split stance, or if we liked our position with our revolved half moon, where you're on one leg a little bit leaning forward in that hinge, we can do that too. So option number one is we're in a split stance, leaning forward. We go out to the side like a T with our arm. Just to get a view of my torso, it's at least 45 degrees. We're not here in doing this, but our torso is a little bit lower. So we can turn it into also that single leg deadlift position where we're like this. So I would have the chair facing me if I was doing this. If I was one of you all, just having our hand either, or I could turn the chair and do that now. So let's get into that position, either our split stance, or we want to challenge our balance and stability a little bit more. We're going to do about 30 seconds on both sides. Getting ready. 3, 2, 1. So we're hinged and out to the side like a T. We can have our foot down like that, or we can have it lifted. We can have an extra point of contact. Just listening to our body, challenging it, that pressure, that small amount of stress. That's how we grow. Nice. Let's switch sides now. So, same thing, that split stance, or that single leg deadlift position, our warrior 3, and here we go. Now, this is a harder movement than a row, so maybe we can't do as much, or we adjusted our weight. All of that is very reasonable. And time. Good job. So now let's finish up upper body with a little overhead press action, where we're going to do this in a single leg stance, where we're working on eventually basically holding up a leg without anything. But we have our chairs. That's what this class is all about. So this is working on a little bit of balance and strength and mobility. So we have one leg up, and we're going to have the weight in the grounded leg side. We want to have that weight next to us. Now, be very mindful. If we don't have access to these overhead presses, then we can also work our shoulder at a 45-degree angle. So my elbow is at this 45-degree angle here, and that helps protect the shoulder. Now, if we have limited range of motion, let's say if I can only go up to here, if I don't have access to this, then adding weight to that isn't going to help us. We need to work on our passive range of motion first. And so if we have a weight, we bring it to here, that won't interfere with that overhead shoulder flexion. So 2 options. We're having one leg up. You can have that hand on the chair. We can keep the shoulder blade down as we lift up to shoulder height, back down, or we can overhead press, still keeping that shoulder down. So choose your poison. I'm going to do this set. This is known as shoulder scaption at 45 degrees. In the second set, I'll do the overhead press. Getting ready. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So keeping the shoulder down, lifting the weight. Now, if we're choosing this one, this is still pretty tough. We have a long lever with our straight arm. Yes, we're not doing an overhead press, but this is a good, really good shoulder exercise. Just focus on keeping those shoulders not up, but down, away from our ears as we lift the weight. Great job. I know you all are putting in the work. And time. let's switch sides now. So we'll have our left leg rounded, our foot up on the chair. Again, we can hold on to the chair if we need to. Getting ready. 3, 2, 1. Keeping the shoulder down, away from our ears. Looking good. Staying tall. Shoulders are down. Working on that balance and stability. And we made it. Great job. So we're going to repeat all of those again. We're going to get into that chest and back opener, followed by our hinged row. Then getting into some more. So, getting ready. 3, 2, 1. We have 30, or if you want to get a sip of water, feel free. That was a little quick. I apologize there. So it'll be 30 seconds of each leg, and our shoulder squeezes and back. So wrapping up that water, and we'll get going. In 3, 2, 1. Coming forward with our bear hug, squeezing, bringing it back. That shoulder retraction. Keep up the good work. We can also do this seated too, if we're getting tired in our legs. Good. Let's switch sides if we're choosing to stay up. 3, 2, 1. Going for that full minute. Doing great. Squeezing in the back, squeezing up front. And we made it. Nice. So we're going to go into the hinged row next. Now I'm going to do this one seated. So we have weight in both hands. And again, we're hinging forward here. Y'all get to see all the sparkles of my hat. So hinging forward. And then we're bringing our shoulder blades back, following through with our arms. So you can see it in the sun a little bit more. Squeezing back. We're inhaling on the way down, exhaling on our way up. Awesome, good job. So we may be wondering, I've been doing this for most of the pandemic. How do I make this harder? So we've mainly been doing a minute for our exercises. That's just for time. But if we haven't been able to get any heavier weights, one way we can make things harder on our own time is going through the motions slower, where we're increasing our time under tension. So give that a shot. We're going to go into our rear flies, that abduction of our shoulder, and we'll get into a split stance or that hinge on one leg, however we feel comfortable. Getting ready. We have 3, 2, 1. So out to the side like a T, controlling back down. nice to do one side at a time. We're not counterbalancing as the other leg or the other arm goes out to the side. Great way to stay symmetrical as we work on our asymmetries. And time. Nice. Let's do the other side now. So we'll have the weight in the left hand, left leg is grounded. 3, 2, 1. Out to the side. We can do it in that split stance. We can do it with our leg up in the air. Inhaling as we come down, exhaling on the way up. And we made it. Perfect. We'll finish up with that overhead press or the shoulder scaption. So in that first set, I did shoulder scaption. Now, on this next set, I'm gonna come down to the floor. If we have access to that, that's something we can do. And a half kneeling position is a great place to be in if we have access to it. Same premise what I talked about. Shoulders down, and we're going to press that arm up as we keep our shoulder down. So getting into position, getting ready. 3, 2, 1. So we're at 45 degrees. We're either lifting the hand to shoulder height for our 45-degree raises, or we're trying to press up overhead as high as we're able while keeping our shoulder down. That hand can be on the shoulder to remind us of that, or we can have it down however we feel comfortable. Good. Let's do one more. Great job. Now we're going to switch sides. And what's handy to see, if we do have access to half kneeling, is noticing if one side is a little harder or easier than the other. Getting into position. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Again, inhaling as it comes down, exhaling on the way up. Last one. Great job. Well done, everyone. Let's get some water. Wipe off the leaves off of your knees, or maybe we haven't vacuumed lately. Whatever it might be. We'll get some water, and then we're gonna work on some stretches. All right. So let's start off with a little elevated downward dog. We're going to have our hands on our chair, walking our feet back as we drop our torso to stretch our upper back and our shoulders. Good. Let's start to lift our torso up, bringing our hips forward. As we bring one leg forward, then we stretch the calf in the back. Perfect. Stepping forward with that back leg and switching sides. Awesome job. Coming back up. Now we're going to get into a deep squat where we can hold on to that chair or some weights. And we're going to drop down low as we can. Stretch our hips, we stretch our ankles, our knees. Great way to create some space. A few more deep breaths here. on up. Great job. Let's find ourselves seated on our chair now. And we're going to bring our foot over our leg. So depending on our flexibility, we can have it below the knee or above the knee. Gentle pressure either from our hand or from gravity. We're inhaling nice and tall, and then we're exhaling, leaning forward over that knee. Awesome. Inhaling, coming back up, and let's hug that knee in, stretching out that glute. Awesome. Dropping it down. And we're going to switch sides. So again, ankle above or below the knee, wherever we have access to. Inhaling nice and tall, letting gravity ease into it. We're using our hand. Then we're exhaling, hinging over that front knee. Great job. Inhaling, coming back up, and hugging that knee into our upper body. And relaxing down. Awesome. Bringing our feet down, scooting to the back of our chair, getting our feet out nice and wide. Inhaling, lifting that torso tall, walking our hands from our thighs to our shins, working down, keeping that head lifted, but sinking that chest lower to stretch our back. If we want to, we don't get dizzy, we can drop our head. Just listening to where we are. Good. Then let's work our way up. Sitting back in that chair, getting our feet and legs normal distance, closing our eyes, connecting with the here and the now. Checking in with how we feel now at this moment, and working on the things that we can control. There's so much that is out of our ability to control, to manipulate, hopefully for good. And so sometimes we need to be reminded of that. Putting our energy and our thoughts into something that we do have the ability to change. Sometimes it can be our everyday life or something greater. Not putting energy into things that you don't have as much sway over. Focusing on the daily things we are able to change. Staying with that thought, that intention, and it sink into the body with each exhale. Staying here as long as we desire, either in our chair or working our way maybe to our couch or to a bed. Getting ready for that longer Shavasana, that final resting pose, which allows us to truly recreate ourselves as we recover from our movement today. Thank you all, as always, for joining me. Light in me recognizes light in you. Namaste.